ascertain, ascertain, ascertain.
확인하다.
How can we ascertain the truth of a belief? Confirm, discover, verify. Ascetic, ascetic, ascetic.
금욕주의적인.
The modest attire and ascetic lifestyle of the medieval monk was portrayed by ancient manuscripts uncovered in the early 1940s. Abstemious, abstinent, puritanical. Authenticate, authenticate, authenticate.
입증하다.
If all that a credit card really does is to serve to give account information and to authenticate your identity, do we really need the card at all? Corroborate, substantiate, validate. Bellicose, bellicose, bellicose.
호전적인.
His bellicose personality chafed his colleagues and acquaintances. Belligerent, combative, militant. Brisk, brisk, brisk.
활기찬.
Other people suggest a short nap upon arrival followed by a shower and a brisk walk. Compliant, compliant, compliant.
순종적인, 유순한.
He was compliant and ready to conform to the pattern set by his friends. Docile, complacent, tractable. Coterie, coterie, coterie.
몰입해.
Joseph was the moving spirit in the coterie, and he was proud of his position in the government. Elapse, elapse, elapse.
경과하다.
Enough time has elapsed for even the most astute to see the threat Amazon poses for small businesses. Go by. Exorbitant, exorbitant, exorbitant.
엄청난, 과도한.
Emerging market coffee is sold at exorbitant prices. Excessive, immoderate, inordinate. Aloof, aloof, aloof.
무관심한, 냉담한.
The soul is to remain aloof from the pleasures of the body. Indifferent, haughty, supercilious. Exhilarate, exhilarate, exhilarate.
흥미롭게 하다, 원기를 돋우다.
It shouldn't be surprising that research on consciousness is alternately exhilarating and disturbing. Elate, encourage. Deferential, deferential, deferential.
공손한, 존경해.
Immanul Kant calls this sort of excessively deferential attitude servility. Respectful, humble, courteous. Authorities, authorities, authorities.
당국 권위.
After the end of the Second World War, the Soviet Union moved in, making Tuvan an official protectorate at the request of local authorities. Dilute, dilute, dilute.
희석하다, 약하게 하다.
Furthermore, the runoff created by melting snow adds a considerable amount of fresh water to dilute the saline seawater. Massacre, massacre, massacre.
대학살.
Han Kang neatly unpacks the social and political catalysts behind the massacre. Genocide, carnage, slaughter. Composure, composure, composure.
침착함, 평온.
He had recovered his composure. Aplomb, calmness, equanimity, sang-froid. Deficiency, deficiency, deficiency.
결핍 부족.
B12 deficiency can have many neurological consequences. Dearth, lack. Daunt, daunt, daunt.
위협하다, 겁주다.
Some sports heroes have overcome daunting obstacles to rise to the top of their sport. Apparent, apparent, apparent.
명백한.
In trying to characterize the apparent increase, scientists have identified two trends. Evident, manifest, obvious. Covert, covert, covert.
비밀스러운, 은밀한.
Meaning has become elusive, covert, coded, and foreign. Clandestine, undercover. Autonomous, autonomous, autonomous.
자율의 독립에.
Participants were not as confident that autonomous vehicles would be programmed that way in reality, and for a good reason. Intrigue, intrigue, intrigue.
흥미를 유발하다.
Researchers have long been intrigued as to whether gratification is related to outcomes in life. Fascinate, attract. Pressing, pressing, pressing.
긴급한, 긴박한.
Today it is more pressing than ever. Imperative, urgent. Circumscribed, circumscribed, circumscribed.
제한된,
The processes to which a dead body may be subjected are after all to some extent circumscribed by law. Lion, lion, lion.
어디에 있다.
A more dramatic difference between the two creatures lies in how dangerous they are to humans. Pacify, pacify, pacify.
달래다, 평온하게 만들다.
He described the failure of last year's effort to pacify Baghdad as if the White House and the Pentagon bore no responsibility. Assuage, calm. Poised, poised, poised.
만반의 준비가 된.
Nuclear weapons are still poised to strike all the major cities in the Northern Hemisphere. Deduce, deduce, deduce.
연역하다, 추론하다.
It is composed of generalizations deduced by observers. Infer, presume, reason. Mastermind, mastermind, mastermind.
배후에서 조종하다, 지휘하다.
The attacks were masterminded by Osama bin Laden. Manipulate, organize, direct. Replicate, replicate, replicate.
모방하다, 복제하다.
The Ghost Net Art project will be replicated by other countries. Wary, wary, wary.
경계하는,
One might have expected Egyptians to be especially wary of military intervention. Careful, vigilant, watchful. Stipulate, stipulate, stipulate.
규정하다.
Although the law stipulates that cars must pass in the left lane, drivers often pass on the right. Specify. Tedious, tedious, tedious.
지루한,
Beforehand, what you have is a tedious delusion, a hobby like knitting. Boring, dull, irksome, tiresome. Prognosis, prognosis, prognosis.
예후, 예상, 예측.
We knew this prognosis meant the end of Jim's career as a pro lacrosse player. Forecast, outlook, prediction. Vindicate, vindicate, vindicate.
정당화하다, 확증하다.
Plato felt morality would be vindicated if immorality's cost was too high. Culmination, culmination, culmination.
정점, 정상.
It is the culmination of a trend started around 2007. Rift, rift, rift.
사람들 사이의 분열, 균열.
Even among intellectuals of relatively proximate views, there were deepening rifts over how to respond to what was happening. Breach, division. Outdated, outdated, outdated.
시대에 뒤떨어진 구시계.
The debate on nature versus nurture is outdated and unhelpful. Antiquated, obsolete, out of date. Ambivalent, ambivalent, ambivalent.
불확실한, 반대 감정이 공존하는.
The Jewish American attitude towards race relations was ambivalent. Conflicting, equivocal, undecided. Anemia, anemia, anemia.
빈혈.
People with anemia suffer from a lack of energy and feel excessively tired and listless.